Hey Angie, how are you?
Hello, darling. How are you? I'm setting up the live. I'm almost done, sweet friend.
Hey Angie, how are you?
Hello, darling. How are you? I'm setting up the live. You can hear me.
Mhm.
I'm almost. Did you enjoy Saturday?
Yeah, it was really good.
I hear somebody else. Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
Hello, darling. It's so good to see your face.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I love seeing your face. Okay. I think I'm streaming into YouTube, y'all. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Oh, video. Hmm. Am I on the right YouTube channel? Let's see. No, I'm not. That might be why. How was y'all's day? Tell me how your day was.
We
How
had,
was Monday?
we had karate, so
Yeah, karate. Well, we are still, I'll tell y'all, these kids gotta go back to school. They gotta go back to school. Here we go. Okay. I just posted it, so hopefully we're live. Let's see. Yep, we're live, you guys. Yay, it worked. So, Ashley, what was your takeaways from Saturday, my friend?
one of the biggest ones for me, other than all the encouragement, of course, was definitely to pivot. Don't get stuck in that slump. Pick yourself back up, find a new way, and move on. So I'm kind of using that for my goals this year to kind of get going again.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Does anybody else want to get, hey, Will, does anybody else want to give some feedback on Saturday? There's Dawn and Nina. Hey, Tony. Hey, Lori. Here comes Myra. I got to tell you guys that it took a lot of pivoting for us to switch to virtual. And it's probably one of the best events that we have done virtually, to be honest. Yeah, I really was impressed that we had as many people on after lunch. So that means everybody was engaged. That means everybody was engaged. You didn't want to leave us. Well, thank you guys for being on here. It has been a whirlwind since I got off the plane in San Antonio. So I landed at midnight on Wednesday. Ashton ended up having the flu. So that was interesting. He's feeling much better. Then the storm came. We've had school out. And I feel like today's the first day that I've done any type of income producing activity. Maybe you feel that way. Maybe you don't feel that way, but I feel that way. I have a new team member that I'm super excited about. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She was a gift. I will say she was a gift. Um, so what do y'all want to do first? Let's see. Who's excited about the new spring products? You want me to show those first? And Dawn, if I forget anything, show it.
I
Um,
don't have them in my office.
Okay, I've
but I
got
can
them.
get them. I
I
can get
love
them.
I love your pearls around your picture.
Thank you.
I love your pearls around your picture. I'm going to share what I talked about on Saturday. And, some of you guys heard it on Saturday, and I'm going to recap it. And let me go on and show you guys the new spring products. Then I'm going to share with you a mastermind that is starting next week. I'm going to share with you a little bit about that. And we already have a power up achiever for this month, and she's actually on her way to a power up achievement. Let me give it up for Miss Tanika Brown. She earned her gardening tools like January 2nd. Here they are. Here they are. Now, she might plant a garden. She might plant a garden. Okay. I don't know if you want to say anything, Tanika, but I'm glad she has her tools. It may not be the garden in her backyard, but I can assure you she's going to have a big garden before the spring comes. I can tell you that. And she's this Mary Kay Brandon. She said, I'm planting. I know she's planting this Mary Kay Brandon Mary. Y'all, I love all the Mary Kay Brandon kids, whether you have boys or girls, you can pass it down. So I'm going to show you all the spring products, but you got to keep it a secret, okay? So this is like one of the benefits of you guys being in my unit, because you get to see them first. Tony, you've already earned. So every single one of you guys, let me share my screen real quick. Every single one of you guys has the opportunity to earn your pre-power up prize. So let me show you the prizes for this month real quick. And there's Tanika. She is a power up achiever. There's her name in big bright lights, Dr. Tanika. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. I knew her before she was a doctor, so I forget, but dadgummit, she's just like my husband. I worked hard for that DR. Please don't forget it. You know what I'm saying? There's her beautiful face. I know that many of you have had the pleasure of meeting her, and if you hadn't, she represents Nebraska, Kansas City, Arkansas. She has people already all over the United States. So we're, if you don't know, Tanika was one of my very first leaders in the Unlocked National area. She's the one that debuted out of the first bunch and helped build the Unlocked National area. And 11 years later, she is back. And so we are blessed to have her. We are better with her. She makes me level up my game. Here's the January promotion. So for those of you, here comes Deborah. For those of you that order $350 wholesale by January the 15th, you get a spring product buzz kit from me. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the new lookbook. And you want to enroll your customers in PCP by January 17th. It's going to be posted by Christine tomorrow, but you don't want to forget. So go ahead and make a note not to forget. Why do I love my customers getting this book? Because it sells product for me. Now I have to do the follow-up, right? I have to make sure they got their book, but they feel special. They feel special because they get to see the new products. I book appointments with some of them prior to this coming out because they know that I get them early, but they also get samples. And it's just something that I've done since I was a brand new consultant. I was told do PCP programs, so I do PCP programs. So your customers can get this book and free samples of the new products for 90 cents. That's a lot cheaper if you were to send it. Another thing, so this is going to be part of that buzz kit. You can get lookbooks from me for free. Okay. Everybody loved the After Sun replenishing gel last year. Okay. It's a big kit. It's got a makeover. Can you see that it's got a makeover? And I'm going to tell you why I love it, because the ingredients have changed. The ingredients have changed. And I'm big on ingredients. Okay. So the ingredients have changed, and this is a great product to use if you've been out in the sun and you're red, or you've gotten too much sun. This has aloe vera in it. It'll make you feel amazing when you get out of the sun. Okay. It's safe for you. It's safe for kids. So that's coming. And guess what, you guys? You've been begging for it for the last 2 years since they took our sunscreen away. Here is our new SPF 50 mineral based. I'm excited about that. We don't like oxybenzoin, by the way. It's no longer in the repair set. Okay. We don't like some of the ingredients in some sunscreens, just saying. This is mineral base. This is non-toxic SPF 50. You can use this for your face and your body. Face and your body. Hey, Myra, your picture looks beautiful. We got a new mascara and I wore it on Saturday, and a couple of people asked me, what mascara do you have on? It's the new one. It's the new one. Do you see the one? This is called, what's this called? I don't know what this is called. Dawn, what's it called? Do you remember what it's called?
Great Lengths,
Great Heights.
Great Heights.
Great Heights. So if you're looking for Great Heights, this is the one. You can see the length. Now I know that we have Lash Love lengthening. This to me gives some definition and some lengthening. And Christina came in today and she goes, I want to try that new mascara. And I said, you can when it's launched, because this is a demo and I've already put it on my eyes.
Is that the one that took Lash Love?
I don't know.
Basically, it
I
may
don't
not
know.
necessarily, but that was
Yeah,
one that was.
I think it took lash lengthening's place. I think you're right, Dawn. Thank you. The nourishing oil has a new packaging. We knew this nourishing oil being a part of the Mary Kay Naturally line, and that line has dissolved, but they kept the nourishing oil because everybody loves it so much. So there you go. If you have any nourishing oil on your shelf from the Naturally line, you've got this, okay? Then my best friend's really excited about these bronzers because they were really popular 4 or 5 years ago. These are our new bronzers that are coming out, and there's different shades for different types of skin. Okay. So we've got our golden color. We've got our medium glow color. We've got deep glow. So if you have darker pigmentation. Okay. So two are bronzers. This is a highlighter, by the way. I showed you the wrong thing. That's a highlighter. So there's two highlighter colors. There's two bronzer colors. They're better than they were 5 years ago, and I hope they put them in new line. How many of you guys love the bronzers? Do y'all remember these? Myra, do you remember these? Deborah, do you remember these bronzers? Yeah.
I do. I remember those.
Did you like them?
I did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember those too.
You remember Myra?
Yes.
My best friend is Tickle Pink. She was like, please don't let them get rid of those.
Mhm.
And we'll try. Brow kits. Now, y'all know that I do my brows with eyeshadow, right? If you don't know that, I do that. I'm excited about the brow kit because there's 4 different brow kits: brunette, blonde, dark brunette. And it's got the different shades for you to do your brows. You've got a highlighter. You've got a shade to fill in your brows. You've got different shades that you can use, and you've got different tools. You have a little wand to do this. And then, like me, I like to draw mine in. There's our little wand to do that. I think the brow kits are going to be really popular, by the way. It's pretty cool. So there's going to be 4 different kinds of brow kits for you guys to choose from. And then here is your gift with purchase. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be just like that you can get. Remember, you can get this month for your 1,000 wholesale along with your gardening tools. Here it is. I don't know who loves the beach, but I love the beach. But you get this beautiful beach towel as a gift with purchase, only for limited time. I got it upside down. Will, Retha needs this towel, buddy. I love it. Here it is. It's big and I love it. So it's available for limited time. Do they have a brow kit for gray-headed ladies? So here's the trick, Nina. For gray hairs, you want to use a blonde. You want to use a blonde color. I don't know if
Somebody told me to use the cashmere. I use the blonde and I think it's a little too dark.
You think it's too dark?
Yeah, only because I am actually mostly white, not just gray, but white.
Right. If the blonde, so if you use the blonde brow gel, but what I would do, and what I have one of my customers who's full gray, I have her use a lighter shade than hazelnut. So this kit right here is for blonde, and I want you to see the shade that's in here. I've got her using a lighter shade than hazelnut, this one, but this one
Yes.
right here will blend with gray. It's got a
Okay.
gray tint to it, actually. Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to do a product night for your customers. So you guys want to make sure that, now, how do you get the new products early? Who knows how we get the new products early? Because some of this stuff I think is going to go quick. PCP, sign up for PCP by January 17th, or you were a star consultant last quarter. Okay. That's how you can get them early. Any other questions before I move on? Who's excited? What are y'all most excited about with the products? Any feedback?
I think the after sun gel. So I started, kind of like spring, summer last year, and that was one of the questions that had come up during that time was people were asking if we still had that. And I was like, I didn't even know we had it before. So it was a very popular question.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a big one.
You're going to have it now, Miss Ashley.
Yeah.
You're going to have it now. Let me share with you guys a series that's coming up, our mastermind series. I'm really excited about this series. You probably got an email a few days ago, and I want to share with you guys that I decided not to launch it this week. I haven't had a chance to connect with y'all really in the new year. I wanted to make sure you understood the January promotions. I wanted to make sure you saw the new products. I wanted to share with you guys all things January before we moved into this mastermind series. So last year, if you remember, we did something called Boss Babe. I'm not a big fan of the term Boss Babe, just to be honest. I think it's dated, but I'm not the one that created this series. But I do love to copy the right cat, okay? So the national that created this is National Sales Director Karen Rydell. And she gave it to all the nationals to use last year. And this year, I want to show you guys who the lineup is. And then you can decide if you want to participate in it. Let me go ahead and share my screen so y'all can see it. So if you got the email, great. I'm going to walk through that. Okay. So the whole concept with our Boss Babe Mastermind this year is meet your trailblazing boss babes. And I want to share with you a little bit about who these women are. Jennifer Cook. Tony, I don't know if you remember this when Jennifer Cook was our guest at Fall Retreat about 11 or 12 years ago. And you guys, I got to have a special dinner with her. She was Mary Kay's personal assistant for 30 years. Yeah. And she has a book and it's called Pass It On. And it's all about stories of Mary Kay and the sales force. So she's going to be a part of this series. And then you have National Sales Director Emeritus Ann Newberry. She was one of the very first national sales directors in Mary Kay. This woman is in her mid-80s now. I got to sit at her feet 5 years ago with a few other nationals. And it was priceless. She was the #1 earner before someone broke her record. And she is responsible for the reason that Mary Kay is global. She was the first national to go international. She developed Canada, and she's developed other countries. And then you have National Sales Director Cindy Gress, Many of y'all know her. We all love her. If you were at career conference 2 years ago that we did with her, she is a pioneer. And then you have National Sales Director Dawn Alton-Sweeney. We love her. I have a YouTube that I'm going to be sending you guys of her. Her daughter is a top sales director now. Dawn was mentored by Kathy Halou. Kathy Halou has been retired for several years, but I share this with y'all because these women sit at the feet and were personally trained by Mary Kay Ash, and I think that that's really huge. National Sales Director Janice Trude is in Germany right now. She's getting ready to head to Amsterdam for their seminar. She's an international national sales director. We love her. And then you have National Sales Director Bridget Shaw. Bridget Shaw has one of the fastest growing national areas today. Bridget's daughter just became the #1 director in South Carolina. And Bridget is a powerful woman. I remember when she debuted, and I love that her and her daughter are out front leading the way. And then Jamie Taylor, many of y'all know, Jamie debuted as a national at the young age of 26. She's a mom of 2 now. And Jamie went on her first top sales director trip with me in England in 2015. So I can't wait for you guys to hear from her. And then you've got, we know her, we love her, National Sales Director Emeritus Linda Tupin. She is the author of Choices. She is the author of Common Sense Choices podcast. Much of my training that I share comes from Linda Tupin. She, if you've never heard the CD or the tape Choices, it's pretty awesome. You've heard me use the saying, we are where we are by the choices that we make or that we allow others to make. That's Linda Tupin, you guys. That's not Angie Lott. That's Linda Tupin. Remember I said I copied the right cat. So what this pace setters, what this mastermind is to propel you into action, okay? You guys know that I'm intentional of anything that I do, all right? In this new year, I have 3 goals, and I want to share with you what those 3 goals are before I go through the Boss Babe. Here's what I know. I know that there's not an opportunity on earth like Mary Kay. I know that. I just came off a leadership conference where legacy nationals were retiring, people who I've heard for my 15 years in Mary Kay. And there's not many places where you can go and it's God, family, career. There's not many places that you can do that. I know it's an opportunity not like many because this opportunity will give you a pension plan and you don't have to put anything into it. If you choose to promote yourself to National Sales Director, you can. It doesn't matter your skin color. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your waist size. It doesn't matter whether you can even speak English. And it doesn't matter what your gender is. It's available to you if you want it and if you can dream it. And what I realized is a lot of people don't dream. They think inside of a box. And that's where the devil wants you. Would you agree with that? And so in saying that, whether you are here for a discount, I want to make sure that you maximize on that discount. I want to make sure that you are getting hand soap from your store versus Walmart. I want to make sure that you max out that 50% discount because here's what I know. Money saved is money earned. And if you can save money, that's a really great thing. I have a goal as our unit to build $1 million unit. And what that means is that the people who want a piece of the pie will put $500,000 back into their pockets this year. Who can get excited about that? Why am I motivated by money? It's not to shop. Dawn has told me that I am cheap. I'm not a big shopper. Okay, she has. She's told me, I'm like, honey, I'm not cheap. I'm just frugal. If I'm going to spend money on it, it's not going to be for show. I did just spend $700 at the functional medicine doctor to get my labs drawn, but I'm not going to go spend $700 on a pair of shoes. But I'll go spend $700 on my health because your health is your wealth. Bottom line. Okay, so in saying that, I'm really convicted about people having income. And I heard something on Saturday, And let me be bold here when I say this. I never want to hear out of anyone's mouth that I can't afford it, because you can. You got a tool. You got a business where you can afford anything that you want. And it may not be for you, it might be for someone else. And so when we step outside the box and when we open our minds for the person that God intended us to be and get out of the shell, you can live and you can give like you currently can. For someone to tell me they can't afford $45 to attend a virtual conference, I am not okay with. And you must be okay that way until you're not. Make sense? Okay? You have a business, my friends. I can show you how to sell $90 through a text message so you have $45 to do whatever you want to do with it. Okay? $1 million unit means that $500,000 goes back into your home. Whatever piece of the pie that you want, however you want to show up and get your piece of the pie, I will train you, I will run beside you, but I will not babysit you and I will not chase you. But I want you to know, if you're going to run the distance, I will run with you. I will go the distance for you, because that's how convicted I am. Tanika has said, Angie texted me making sure that I got my $50 in my check. She makes $200,000 a year. And she said, I had to humble myself for a minute. Where I wasn't concerned about $50, I got real tuned into $50, because if she's telling me this at this level, it's $50, then I know it's going to be more as I grow. And there are some people out there that need $50. Okay. And so if I know that she knows how to make an extra $50, then I know she can teach whoever wants in her space to make an extra $50. And then lastly, my third goal is for us to be a Gold Circle national area, and we are very, very, very far behind. So what we do the next 6 months is we're practicing to lay up to be a Gold Circle area, so we can put Kristen in the inner circle. And I'm telling you this because so many companies have changed their marketing plan. What companies have y'all seen that have changed their marketing plan recently? You're familiar with some of them. Anybody want to say some names? And if you don't want to say some names, that's okay. There was one that was really popular, and everyone lost their team overnight. The compensation plan completely changed overnight. And there's been 4 companies do y'all remember the company that had the bags? 31, they're gone. Do y'all remember, I can name companies, but I'm saying this because Tracy Lynn, you're exactly right. There's been many companies who changed their complete marketing plan. Ryan stood on stage this last week, and Dawn was with me when he said, we will not change our compensation plan. Everybody, as a consultant that has a consultant ID, has the potential to make 50%. I don't care if you have a team or not, you have the potential to make 50%. That is huge. You have the potential to shop 50%. You have the potential to make 50%. Okay. And he also said, and here's what I know, is that what sets our company apart from other direct sales companies while we've been in business for 61 years is our culture. And Mary Kay created the national sales director position to be a voice for the company, to be a voice for corporate, and to maintain our culture, God, family, career, and how we roll. And when you start dabbling with certain things, the culture can change. There's been a lot of startup companies that have launched. I've seen them. I've been trying to recruit in them. Take these drops, take this pill. I am all for it. But if you look at the marketing plan, if you look at the culture, my best friend said to me when Rodan and Fields was really big 10 years ago, I said, it won't last. And she said, how do you know? And I said, I just know certain things that I look at. And their compensation plan just changed. A lot of people just lost their entire team. They haven't been part of the Direct Selling Association for the last 7 years. So that tells you something. So I just shared this with y'all because the national position, we are the voice for y'all. We are the voice for y'all. And we're what bridges for corporate, because Mary Kay is a corporation. And Tanika's on here. She got to be my guest in August. I took her as a guest of mine, as an NSD guest. She was not a consultant at the time. You cannot be part of the sales force to come as an NSD guest. And she got to see a behind the pink curtain experience. And there's a reason why we want Kristen in Inner Circle. Tanika, I don't know if you can speak or if you want to share real quick on what that experience was to you coming back in 11 years later, kind of taking a bird's eye view and the importance of it. Are you able to talk or no?
Yes, I'll just piggyback off of what you were saying. A lot of women are attracted to the Mary Kay opportunity because they are in a culture, a corporate culture that, just doesn't align with who they are, doesn't motivate them. They're there specifically for a check. But to go to Dallas and to see, executives and leaders that are running the company lock hands and pray before they, stepped on the stage to talk about the current state of Mary Kay, where the company is going, that spoke volumes to have an executive team that is transparent but submits their vision and mission to God before even speaking to the sales force. So those are things that it's very hard to find in any other organization. And so those were some of the things that made me say yes to this opportunity again, even though, I do have a great job that I'm grateful for, and I make a good income that I'm grateful for. But the culture and the truly putting a company, putting God at its core, um, again, it's just something that you don't see. And as a lot of times as consultants, we take that for granted because we feel like we're far removed from that. But you're not. If you really sit and think about, the mission and vision of Mary Kay, God first, family second, career third, and just what Angie talks about and what Kristen talks about, you're not really that removed from it. We just gloss over it and take it for granted. So it speaks volumes, and it can change your life if you let it.
Thank you for sharing. I know that you stepped back into the arena in August and we had a conversation. What compelled you to come back now?
I think so some things that stood out again. Right now I have to decide in my corporate job, if I want to move up the corporate ladder, what do I have to sacrifice? So I know that I'll have to sacrifice time with my family, time with my children. I know I'll have to work longer hours than what I work now. I know that the higher check comes with more stress, and I don't want to sacrifice those things. And I know that in this company, I can build an organization with people that I truly want to work with. It's a reciprocal relationship where I can learn and personally develop, but I don't have to sacrifice what's most important to me to do it. And that was the thing that made me say, yes, I do want to build my own organization within this company. And then again, seeing what leadership truly values aligned with my values. But it really boils down to I want to make more money. I need to make more money. I have, 5 children and other people that I'm called to. So if I want more income, what am I willing to sacrifice? And I don't have to sacrifice what's most important to me as I continue to achieve all of my goals, including my financial goals.
My word for the year is thrive. It's taken me a minute to pull it together. I wrote on the Jumpstart program, for those of you that were July Jumpstart, rise, shine, climb, and thrive. I want to ask you guys to look up in the Bible, rise, shine, climb, and thrive. Thrive is to grow vigorously. And I can honestly tell you that I've been very comfortable being comfortable. Me being comfortable doesn't necessarily mean that others around me are comfortable in my organization. And I had to get uncomfortable with that. Does that make sense? Okay. And I don't think I've had the desire to grow vigorously in a long time. To grow spiritually, to grow physically, to grow emotionally, to grow financially in a long time. And so I really had to pray about my word. And I said, this says to grow vigorously, to prosper, to progress toward, i.e., or reach a goal. By God's grace, we thrive. Now, God sent his son to not only give us life, but overflowing and abundant life. And I was looking at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I didn't go through this Saturday. There's some people 2 hours away from me that don't have their basic needs. Western North Carolina, you guys. And when you're at the place on the Maslow's chart where food, water, shelter, sleep, basic needs, it's hard to take yourself to self-actualization. Self-actualization is the highest on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I need to pull it up to show it to you guys. And the reason that I said yes to Mary Kay 15 years ago is because I was at the place where I was wanting to move towards self-actualization. And I recognize that everyone is on a different place in those hierarchy of needs. But I know that when you choose to move towards self-actualizations, and things change. You go from a deficiency on the scale to growth. That's where we are, deficiency all the way up to growth. So I had the gardening tools on Saturday, and I want to share with you guys that I remember gardening with my grandmother when I was a little girl. I remember watering the garden, picking the weeds, getting dirty. And I used to think to myself as a little girl, why the heck would anyone want to do this? Does anybody else garden, plant, flowers? No. Okay. It was 2016. It took the tragic passing and sudden death of my father in 2016. And I know that some of you guys remember that. And some of you know the trauma that I had from that. And the trauma didn't show up until months later. I started to garden. And I'm so thankful that I did, because today food is not the same in a grocery store than what you plant out in your garden, or you go to the farmer's market and get it. We know that, right? Okay. So it really made me happy when God gave us Ashton, because he knows you go out in the garden and you get the kale. That's what he knows. So in saying that, I want to help you prep to thrive and grow your legacy. I'm going to put my garden gloves on. And I got off the Boss Babe series. And what I'm going to do is, before I go through this, I'm going to ask you to check your email. The Boss Babe series, you get to hear from each national every week. It is pre-recorded. We're going to play that on our Monday night live. And then there's some homework. You do get rewarded for your activity, for your faith-filled efforts. It is a collaborative Zoom where you hear the information and then you can give feedback. And it is to help you thrive. Okay? So I'm going to post it in our Facebook group, and I'm going to re-email it out to everybody so you don't have to go look for it. Does that sound fair? You can read it. If this is your season to thrive with me, then I'm going to say it's no cost to join. You got to show up. Sometimes showing up is the hardest part, right? You got to show up, and then you get to choose how you want to participate, at what level you want to thrive. So the 7 elements of gardening that I've learned. This is why I want every single one of y'all to get your tools this month. I want you to have your tools. Ashley, I know you heard all this on Saturday. You can help me out if I forget anything. Okay. Here's our tools. And this is in correlation so you can reap your harvest, because what I know is that it's planting season. You heard Tanika said, I'm planting. What are some things that we need to look at in correlation to our garden and our Mary Kay business? Environment. That's number 1. Write that down, environment. When we're assessing where to plant, we've got to look at the soil. We've got to look at the climate. We've got to look at what insects or threats. We have to look at the slope, the angle of the sun. Here's the deal, you guys. I've never stopped to ask, is this seed talented enough to grow? Think about that. Sometimes you go into your mind of, do I have what it takes? I believe you do. So the reflection of that is the environment that you're currently in helping your growth or hindering your growth? Your environment influences everything you do. Up to 70% of your success is dependent on the people that you're talking to, the events that you plug into, and the sources of information that surround you. One of the things that I can tell you that Tanika does every morning at 4 a.m. is she starts her day with prayer. At 4 a.m. Like she was doing it at seminar, you guys. Like when we went to seminar, I was like, oh, you get up at 4? Well, you know I don't. She starts her day. I think it's great to start your day with God, whatever that means to you. Is your vision in front of you? Do you have it all over your office? If you don't have an office, do you have it on your mirror? Do you have it on your refrigerator for your children to see? Who is in your space? People who are not your biggest cheerleaders maybe don't need to be in your space right now. You guys, I say this, my mother was not supportive of me saying yes to Mary Kay 15 years ago at all. Okay. She thought that I had sold out. She was like, you have furthered your education. You fought to be a nurse, yada, yada, yada. Mama, I hear you. She couldn't see until she saw 5 years later. So I couldn't listen to that. But I plugged into my Mary Kay sisters and to my success night every week. I drove an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back to be in front of Kristen Myers to have my cup filled. It's okay to show up to have your cup filled, okay? What information are you consuming? You guys, there's so much information on Facebook, on Instagram, on the news, all the things, and half of it's a lie, and we know that it's a lie. It's not good, okay? Do you take a daily mental bath? Does anybody know what a mental bath is? A mental bath is a booking, an affirmation, a coaching session with your mentor. And what's the other part of bath? I can't remember. Dawn or Tanika, if you remember it from Tammy Craig, mental bath. It's to keep you in motion every day with your activity and your affirmation. Success and innovation is spurred by individuals who are endlessly curious and willing to share their knowledge to help others. And as a result, the organization thrives. I am an open book. I will teach you anything you want to know, because this is not corporate. So tomatoes don't grow. Another thing that you want to look at, number 2, is what are you growing? What are you growing? Once we understand our environment, that we can look and we can think about, what do we want to grow? You know, sometimes we throw out, you say, I want to make $1,000 a month. What are you growing to make $1,000 a month? Some of you on here say, I'm going to be a director. I'm going to be a national director. And this is where we have to look at, what am I growing for that? You can't plant tomatoes in the winter. They're not going to grow. They're not going to thrive. Roses are beautiful, but they're not going to fill your belly. So if I say that I'm planting a garden to eat and I plant roses, that's out of alignment. Makes sense? Okay. Here's one thing I want you to know. Companion plants strengthen and grow together. Things you plant together that are companion plants can strengthen each other, and they increase output without adding more input. This is where I know that multiple DIQs and multiple consultants hitting their power up achievement, hitting their star is easy. Okay. Another thing is that when you look at that, okay, I want to make $1,000 a month, we have to look at what are my bookings? What is this? What is that? To pull that together, to know what we're growing. So make sure that the strengths and what you want to grow are compatible with your environment, and think about the outcomes. Third, process. We understand the environment. We know what we're growing. Now it's time to focus on the process. Building something is a process. Do I want to go pick the weeds sometimes? No, I don't. Do I want to water the garden? No, I don't. I literally said to my husband, someone gave me the gift of Icorn sourdough starter. And I said, this is for you, honey. This isn't for me. I'm not getting into bread making. This ain't the season. I'm not trying to thrive in bread making right now. Okay. Y'all see everybody on social media baking their bread. No, 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 no. This is for you. And you can take and do what you want to do with it. There you go. Okay. What does the soil need to be nourished? You need to help the worms get to where they need to be. The weed picking and pruning is necessary. You will put the work in before you reap the harvest. So let's think about this. You need to pick the right people in your circle to help you break up the ground. You need to look for those people who have protected, supported, and nurtured the dreams and goals of others. And while you're at it, make sure that you're one of those. So the process, Mary Kay is very simple, but there is a process. And where it can get hard is when we try and fall out of the process. Does that make sense? Okay. It's a simple process. Gardening, you guys, I didn't realize how easy it was, but I had to look at what I was doing. And I've messed up along the way. Trust me. Room for growth. Here's the deal. If you don't give a plant enough room, it will become root bound. The growth is limited because it doesn't get enough of what it needs, and it inhibits the full blooming potential. You may likely, deep breath in, limit your growth and your harvest because of your lack of focus and what you allow to distract you or crowd you. Deep breath in. I want you to ask yourself what's not giving you enough room to grow. I want to ask you what has gained your precious time that has hurt you versus helped you. You see, because a lot of times we want to say yes to everything. There's a season for everything. Support. It's not enough just to plant the seeds and walk away. You can't do that. You got to have stakes for tomatoes. You got to have a shade cloth. You got to have trellises. So what support do you need? Do you need a coach and a mentor? Do you need an accountability partner? You have one that you don't even have to pay for in Mary Kay. Some business coaches will charge you $10,000 for them to coach you. My husband has paid someone $1,000 for every coaching session so he could get better at his craft. Oh, he went to school to be a doctor, but no one told him how to build a business. He's a great doctor, but no one told him how to build a business. Do you need office support? Do you need childcare? What is it that you need to give you room for growth? And then there's natural limits. Here it is, you guys. Nothing is ever lost in nature. When a plant, leaf, or limb dies, it returns to the ground and eventually it will nourish new growth. The beauty of Mary Kay, and something that I love, you can promote yourself anytime you want, and you can step back anytime you want. This is yours. Reflection. Give yourself what you need to flourish at the right time. We have seasons of growth. Right now, we're in a season to plant to reap a harvest. You know, an evergreen is always there, but it presents itself different through other seasons. It lends itself based on the environments. Think of a Christmas tree. Okay. And then lastly, the most important is the gardener. It's the person that we look at in the mirror. Each of you bring something unique. The gardener has to know their subject matter. It's hard to book someone if you don't know what to say. It's hard to coach someone if you haven't read the outline. It's hard to do an individual close if you don't have your notes. You guys, I had my notes all the time and I practiced. I wanted to get good at this. I wanted to see if this was real, first and foremost, and then I wanted to get good at this to see what could happen. Not just for me, but I knew that if I could figure this out, I could do what I was called to do in being a nurse. I could change a lot of families. That's all I wanted to do, is make a difference. So a great gardener knows their subject. They consistently show up whether rain or shine, and they have a learning orientation. They know they don't know everything, and even what they might can change over time. COVID showed us that. COVID took me straight out of my comfort zone. I had to pivot, and some of you guys were with me in that pivot, and some of you had a lot of growth in 2020, but we had to change it up. We had that learning orientation, and I'm always hungry. I am a student first. I don't look at my title and say, oh, you know, you don't train for a marathon by going for one run. You don't boost a strength through a single action. Grow your knowledge, show up frequently and regularly. Put the work in to maintain the right growing conditions. Weed out what's not helpful and suck in your energy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Regularly water and fertilize your plants. Keep your eyes out for the pest. I'll help you. Unsupportive people, situational factors. And I say this because whether wait until you've made all the mistakes, experience all the strange things, use your learning orientation. So friends, I'm calling upon you in this new month of 2025 to thrive with me. Your thrive is your thrive, but I want to thrive with you together. I want you to earn your tools. If you need a plan, I can give you a plan. What you do with it is up to you. Plant your seeds. I passed out seeds to everybody at leadership. Support your seeds and prepare for the harvest that God has promised you from your work and your efforts and your obedience. It's a new year. I don't know what that means to you. I feel like I'm a little bit behind. My prayer is for your vision to be expanded. My prayer is for you to know that you're worthy. My prayer is that you don't quit before you get started. And my prayer is that you start and you don't quit. The only reason that I'm here today is because I didn't quit when I wanted to. That's it. I just didn't. And I didn't do the start and stop game when I wanted to. So that's what I've got. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or feedback? I'm going to email you the Boss Babe series here in just a little bit. I'll post it in our unit Facebook group. $350 by the 15th gets you your buzz kit for the spring products. Okay. What am I forgetting? You guys have seen our January calendar. If you haven't seen our January calendar, I can show it to you. Questions, comments, feedback. Who's got some questions, comments, feedback, or any feedback on what I just shared with you about the gardening tools? No? Our goal this month is 40,000 wholesale. We haven't hit that. I'm not changing the goal. This is what we have in right now. We've got in about 4,300, one new team member. Our goal this month is 40,000 in team sales, 25 new consultants, 5 new red jackets, 10 power up achievers, and Tanika has done that. We're just getting started. I'm not worried. Anything else before we wrap up, you guys? Comments, questions, feedback. Oh, I do want to show you this. Let me show you this. There's a Facebook group. This gentleman has never done my taxes. He comes highly recommended. There is a Facebook group with a CPA by the name of Jody, and you can join this Facebook group. He is on, you can scan this QR code to join his Facebook group for tax preparation. He's going to be doing a live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. There will be a playback. He does a lot of people in Mary Kay's taxes, by the way. So that might be something that you want to look at. A lot of times people don't realize the deductions that they have as a business owner, the advantages that they have as a business owner, and what works best for them with their taxes. So that's available to you. And then next Tuesday, we're back for our Terrific Tuesday with National Sales Director Patrice Moore-Smith. It's her turn to go this time. Here's the deal. We have a growth goal. You don't know who needs this opportunity. And there's a way to ask people to join this Zoom. It's a peek into pink. We give away product. We give away a free starter kit every time we do this. Here's the information. I want to challenge you guys to make a list. And if you were a part of Jumpstart, you already have had a challenge. Now, you know in the last 48 hours if you've completed your challenge. Okay, Kristen gave us a challenge to do those, make a list of people for the roll-up bag parties. If you're in the January Jumpstart group, you can go watch the playback. That's what propelled my business 15 years ago. I made it work for me. I didn't know how to book a hostess, but I knew that I could get people together and make it work. Okay, that month I saw 27 faces. I didn't see 30, but I got momentum. And she gave us a challenge to make a list of people that we can invite to hear the Mary Kay opportunity. Some people need one-on-one, but here's what the pink into pink does, you guys. People don't get the culture that we have every day. For those of y'all that are out in corporate, do y'all get what you get in Mary Kay at your job?
Not at all.
This is what people are looking for. They may not be brave enough to say, hey, I want to make some money. They may not be brave enough to even think about a vision, but I'm going to tell you what they do need. They need hope and they need fun. And so the reason that we do the peek into pink is to give people a small vision of what happens in our culture. Whether they choose to join your team or not, who cares? It may be that they say no right now, but it may be down the road that they say yes. So I'm going to ask you to make a list of at least 5 people that you could reach out to be your special guest. It's not your job. It's none of your business what they decide to do. It's not your business if they tell you no, but it is your business to pass it on. That's what Mary Kay asked us to do. And if you need a script on how to invite people, Kristen gave a good one today in the January Jumpstart group when she went live. Or if you want me to send you a script, I'll give you one. I put as many people as I could in front of Kristen the years that I were building. I did that for a reason. I still put people in front of Kristen. And we have another my national sister, Patrice, whose story is very powerful, and she's going to be the one sharing. So don't decide for other people. Your job is to pass it on. Whose life? What if Joanne? I told Joanne, I said, I'm not joining Mary Kay. And she said, I don't care. I'm asking you to listen to help me with the goal. I said, okay, just as long as you know I'm not doing it. I drove 45 minutes to Panera, and it changed my life. What if she had not shared it with me? Because I had been a customer for 11 years and nobody really did. So, all right, you guys, thank you for being on here. We've been on here for an hour. I'm way over time. Thank you for showing up. God bless all of you. Text me if you want to thrive with me, and let's get a plan for you. I'm here for you. I believe in you. You've got what it takes. Get your tools and let's go plant some seeds. Good night, everybody.